Hello and good evening. Welcome to Friday Night Live. I'm Danny, I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from the UK, and I wanted to explain a little bit of why I'm doing these Friday Night Lives. So this has come about because on the first and third Wednesday of the month I have a little coffee and card group in a local coffee shop. So everyone makes a card and has a chat and drinks coffee or tea, and some of my customers who don't live locally have asked me to do a virtual event. So I wondered how I could do that, and so I decided the best way is to do a little Facebook Live video, and they can use their own product to make the card. If anybody is watching, you can say a virtual hello as well. So let's get on with the card. If you are watching, do say hello if you can. At the moment, some of you know that Celebration is on, and you might think, well, what is Celebration? This is Celebration, so it lasts until the end of February, and for every £45 you spend, you can choose a free item from here. There's different papers, there's stamp sets, and the papers that I've chosen tonight is these papers. And when I first looked at them, oh hi Julie, hi Liz. When I first looked at them, I thought, oh, I don't like these at all. I thought they were quite dark, and I thought I'm not going to use those. But then I saw somebody do something with it, and I thought, oh my gosh, I really love these papers. So I thought I'm going to use them for a project. And I thought, you know, if you get free papers, you need to use the paper. So I thought, make an envelope. And I like making envelopes because you think, oh, why would you want to make your own envelope? But an envelope makes it quite special. It's a matching card and envelope. And if you want to know all the measurements, they're on my website, which is dannydesignstudio.co.uk. Look it up and you've got a free PDF to download, and all the instructions are on here. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about all the measurements because they're all on there and you can see it and you can download it. Hi Joe. Oh, thank you for joining me. I've got some company at least. So these are the papers I used at the coffee and card this week, and I thought I will use these papers. So you need a large 12 by 12 or 30.5 by 30.5. These are one of the 12 free papers that you can get, and it's got a lovely side on that side as well. So I'm going to make the envelope out of this, but I'll do that in a second. So I'm going to start with the card first. So we're going to cut our coordinating piece of card. Yeah, do you know what? I thought it was quite stunning, this colour. When I saw it, I thought, gosh, some of the ladies did this colour. And I think they were just beautiful. So let's have a look. I'll just have to get my measurements up. So the card base, you've got an A4 piece of card. You're going to cut it down to 27 by 30.5. So 27, cutting it, and then cutting it at 13.5, and then you're going to score it at 13.5. So get your cutting blade out of the way and then scoring it at 13.5. So that is your base. But now you're going to do a little fun fold because you're going to chop some of this off. So if you get your card on the wide part at the top, can you see the top? I'm not sure you can. Let's move it down a little bit. So the wide part at the top, I am going to cut at 21.5. There we go. So turn it upside down, so I've just got that bit. So I'm going to basically be showing off the papers. So I have actually pre-cut some of the papers because this tutorial is really about showing you how to make the envelope. So I pre-cut some of these because I thought you don't want to see me cut all these. So I've got some bits and pieces in here. Right, so the first thing I would do, as I said, all the measurements are on my website. So I'm going to put the, oh hi Natasha. Oh, I'm glad you could join me, Tash. So I'm going to stick this one in. Bev, hello. Oh, I thought I'd get nobody tonight, but I've got a little party going on. Right, so that, look at that, that is just stunning. So then I'm going to put my, oh, this inside bit is for there. So that's basically where you're going to write your greeting. So I'm going to stick that in there. Most of the time I use the Tombow glue, the wet glue, because it gives me a little bit of room to adjust if I don't get it right the first time. So then in here, these papers is Mossy Meadow, I think it is, I've got. So I've picked up that colour card, and then this is the busy part of the card, and this is the plain part. So what is this fun cut fold called? I really don't know, because I just made it up. So I wanted to show off the papers. So Natasha, I don't know what it's called. We could make a name up if you want. You could make the name up if you like. So let me just check that that is the right size, because I sometimes get it wrong. Yes, and then that is going to go on there. So before I do that, I nearly made a mistake. I'm going to get this little scalloped edge, and I'm going to pop it on this edge here. These scallop pieces comes from, I picked this bundle, so the colour and contour, which goes with the scalloped contour dies, and these are actually really lovely dies. They're a mess, aren't they? But got lovely little edging there, and then I've used this one for my outside of the card, and then I've used this one for my sentiment, and it's really lovely edging. I've used these a lot actually. So this is a bundle that comes together, the colour and contour and the scalloped contour dies, which is great for sentiments and things. So I'm going to use one of the sentiments on here. So I'm going to stick this with a bit of glue on that edge, but I don't want to get it on there, so I'm just going to open that up. I'm also going to get a little silicone mat, just so that I don't get glue on my grid paper, and I'm going to pop a little bit of glue. Try not to get too much out. And I'm just going to put it on, and then I'm going to cut the excess off. Try and get it as neat as I can. your little scalloped edge. Take that out of the way, and then it's a case of layering. You could use this part if you wanted to, and some ladies did do that part, and it is actually stunning. But I think I'm going to go with the other side because I want a sort of a plain layer, because my my actual envelope is going to be all very flowery as well, so I'd like a little sort of plain layer. And then that is going to go on there. And so that you have a little border, I'm going to go right up to that scalloped edge. There. So it's coming along. Now that is my little sentiment piece. So I'm going to take one of these. Now obviously it's got to, because it's that way up, it's got to fit onto this. So some of these are not going to fit, but I'm going to go with what I did before. So very happy for you. I'm going to try and find that. Mount it on my block. These are photopolymer stamps, so at least you can see right through. So then in the papers, in all of the papers, you can see how I've delved into it, and I haven't got much left now. On the back, on the white part, you can see what colours are in here. Basic Black, Blackberry Bliss, Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, Mossy Meadow and Petal Pink. So I'm going to go for something that is in there. But Gorgeous Grape, actually that wasn't in there, but Gorgeous Grape actually I think goes quite well, so I'm going to use that. And I have used it before, so, and then if you can see my sample, I've got my little flower up there, so I'm going to put it down the bottom here. Just re-inked my pad, so it's come out quite well. So just clean it off. Probably shoot the camera at the same time. I just thought of something actually. In this, it's got these splodges, and I quite liked, if you look at that one, the splodges are quite nice. So what I do, because I don't want dark splodges, so what I would do is ink it up and then stamp it off. I'm just going to do a little practice run. Yeah, so if you stamp it off and then pop it on, you get a lighter sort of colour, and it just sort of gets rid of the white space over there. So then the next thing is to get one of the flowers. This is in the paper, so I'm just going to quickly, there's no die that comes with this, I'm just going to quickly fussy cut this. And I'm just leaving a little border around the edge. Right, there we go. So then the other thing is I would like to give it a little bit of dimension. So what I'm going to do is take my bone folder, hold it in the palm of my hand, and then give it a little push inwards into the palm. And then I'm creating a little bit more dimension on that. So next thing to do is get some little dimensionals. Want to raise this part up to give it a little bit more character. It could be flat on the page if you prefer, and don't forget it's just one layer you want it to go before if you're going to put this in the post. I'm going to put it down a little bit actually because I've got the flower to go. Oops. And the flower's going to go there. You could put a little gem in there as well, which would be quite nice. So that's your card. Quite simple, you're just showing off the lovely papers. So next step is to make the beautiful envelope. So we need to cut down our envelope. If you make any size card, you can make any envelope with it. It's the same principle. What I do is I take a card, make up a card that I know is going to fit into a 12 by 12. That's the largest paper we do. So it's got to be either smaller than this or bigger than this, and I usually leave at least a 1.5 centimetre gap around it. So I'll work my measurements out from that. So for this, I'm going to cut this down and just refer to my little template here. So it's 30.5, which is the measurement at the top here. Can you see in my camera? And then I'm going to cut it down to 25. So cut that bit off, that's your spare. And then this bit, I'm going to get the cutter out of the way because all it is now scoring. So I'm going to score. I'm just going to refresh my screen because just in case anybody's talking to me and I'm not getting anything. No, it's fine. So with the wide part at the top, you're going to score at 8 centimetres. So you're just scoring. Do it slightly. Turn it 180 degrees right round. Score it again at 8 centimetres. Then with the narrow part at the top, you're going to score at 5 centimetres, and again on the opposite side. So it's hard to see on this paper, and that's really all there is to it. So then I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to burnish it if I can see it. And this side. Yeah, I think it's quite stunning, isn't it, Joe? I always think free papers, what do you do with it? You can make loads of cards with it, it's fine, but you get a lot of free papers. So it makes a card extra special if you've got like a Mother's Day card. You could do a mail card, not obviously with, you wouldn't probably want to do it with the flowery paper, but there's other papers. You do not need to buy 2 packs of the DSP though. No. So now I'm going to cut. So basically what it's going to look like is this is going to come over and flap over, and then this is my lower flap, that is the upper one. It will all make itself, it'll be explained in a minute. Definitely a gift in itself. It is, I think, because your time has gone into it. Right, so let me just tell you that there's 4 sort of rectangles in these corners. You want to cut those completely away. So I'm not sure whether you can see very well, but you're going to cut up, and I take a big pair of scissors, because you don't want to do snips like this. You want to have a good one sort of large pair of scissors that you can just do it in one go, because this is the part you're going to see, that edge. It's not a bad thing, obviously, or 3, 1 to keep, just to look at. Yes, yeah, you have to stroke the paper, don't you? We all love our papers. Because I do so many classes, I do actually buy, whenever a new catalogue comes out, I probably buy nearly all the papers. The ones I like, obviously, get the first winnings, but I will probably, and they, you know, when you buy the papers, they never look as good in the catalogue. I mean, they don't, it does not do it justice. The papers are actually just stunning, and because you've got the colour coordination, it makes it even more stunning. So you end up with something like this. So you're going to glue that part, and then with this part is going to come up, come up here, but as you can see, this is not really matched, so I need to cut this a little bit. I need to trim a little bit off, and it doesn't matter if this bit is not as straight, because you're not going to see it, but you want to get it so that it comes up nicely. This part is the top bit you are going to see, so you want that to be nice and equal as well. So I need to trim that bit off, but I need to do it in a way that it's really just a tiny bit, because I know that somebody's going to look at that. So hopefully see how, yeah, that's better. So I know when I've put that over, that is all sort of flush together. So the next thing I want to do is to trim these edges. I want to round the corners. So you can either get a little circular thing and draw around it. I've got a little circular sort of end, so I pop that in there, bring that down, and it will round the corners, and it just gives a neater and nicer sort of finish. So, what is the nicer side? Let me have a look. That's the bottom, and that is the top. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to put glue on there, and that's really all there is to it, to be honest. We've made an envelope that looks stunning, and you can choose either side of the papers. Obviously, if it's, now I should have put this down first, talking too much. So just do a little bit edge there, bring that down first. So that's the first flap you do, and then you bring this one up. So, and that is it really. That's your little envelope. So if it was the other side, you could put a little flower on that side just to make it extra pretty. So then if it's going in the post, you can put this little scalloped edged thing to put your address on. I'm just going to finish it off. Or obviously you're hand giving it. I have to stand up, make sure I do it right. There we go. Okay, so in the end you're going to just stick that down together. So there we go. There is your, that's going to fit nicely into there. That is your lovely square card and matching envelope. So thank you very much for joining me. Actually I did do one in another, oh dear, where's the celebration catalogue? So these papers are also stunning, and they're all sort of wild flowers, and I did the same card in this one there. So lovely wild flowers, which is got the scalloped edge there. Did exactly the same. That's the inside of that one, and then I used that. That's your greeting side, and I fussy cut that bit. So that's another one with celebration paper. So you could do loads, and it's not that hard, is it? It's a very simple design. So thank you for your comments. Thank you for joining me, and yeah, so I'll see you in a couple of weeks with the next coffee and card. Thank you. See you soon.